On September 17, 2022, before sunrise, 14-year-old Lyric Woods slipped quietly out of her home while her parents slept. She moved carefully, closing the door without a sound. By morning, her bed was empty. She did not come back. The next afternoon, riders on four-wheelers traveling near Buckhorn Road, close to the line between Orange and Alamance counties in North Carolina, saw something terrible in a wooded area near a power line path. Two bodies lay side by side on the ground. It was Lyric and 18-year-old Devin Clark. Both had been shot many times. Neighbors later said they heard gunfire in the early hours of that Saturday.
Tell me it's not her. And he just got out of the Tahoe and hugged me and was just like, I'm so sorry. We completely fell to the ground.
I knew then that my baby was never coming home again.
It's awful already to lose her, but to think of how it was, and that she was scared. Was she crying for us?
First came a fast burst, then silence, then more shots. Deputies found 13 shell casings scattered in 3 spots along the dirt track. The evidence showed the pair had tried to run. Lyric was hit 7 times. Devin was struck 6 times. Marks on the soil suggested he had been dragged and placed next to her. Lyric was a freshman at Cedar Ridge High School in Hillsboro. Friends remembered her laugh, her love for volleyball, music, and joking around. She was the oldest sister in a blended household and cared deeply for her family. Photos often showed her smiling in bright sneakers. Devin attended Eastern Alamance High School. He played football and basketball and enjoyed recording rap songs with buddies. He liked dirt bikes and being outdoors. His death shocked classmates who saw him as friendly and energetic. Both teens had been reported missing that weekend. Devin's father, Dexter, told deputies his son had not come home. He also realized his gray and green 9mm handgun and ammunition were gone. Tests later matched that weapon to the casings at the scene. Devin's phone and backpack were missing, but investigators recovered digital records from Verizon. Many messages had vanished because they were sent through Snapchat, which erases chats unless saved. Still, fragments told a story. Just after midnight, Devin asked friends in a group chat who had a car and wanted free buns, slang for a sexual favor. He was trying to get a ride. In messages with someone named John, he talked about meeting Lyric and hinted she might be willing to be with both of them. There was no proof Lyric agreed to anything like that. Her parents had taken her phone overnight, yet she used an iPad to message Devin. She sent directions and told him to park nearby with lights off so no one would notice. Her final message came around 1:30 a.m. Phone data showed Devin and another teen, 17-year-old Isaiah Ross, traveled together that night. Isaiah had moved from Delaware to North Carolina the year before and briefly attended Eastern Alamance. Records placed both devices near Buckhorn Road between 1:45 and 2:14 a.m. Soon after, surveillance cameras captured Isaiah alone at a gas station 2 miles away. He drove his mother's white GMC Sierra. Days later, Isaiah argued with his mother about damage to her truck and left for Delaware on a bus. Meanwhile, a young man named Christian Sykes contacted authorities after seeing a social media post from Devin's mother asking for information. Christian said Isaiah had told him a wild story during a video call, claiming there was a struggle over a gun and that 2 people ended up dead. On October 2, 2022, Isaiah was arrested in Delaware and charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Though still a minor at the time of the incident, he would face trial as an adult. Prosecutors believed Isaiah picked up Devin, then Lyric, drove to the remote road, and shot them. They argued the pattern of shell casings showed an initial attack, a chase, and final shots fired after the victims fell. They said Isaiah returned to the site after stopping for fuel, possibly to remove evidence. Isaiah pleaded not guilty and claimed self-defense. On the stand, he told jurors he never met Lyric before that night and thought Devin was meeting 2 girls. According to his testimony, Devin and Lyric argued after being in the back seat together. He said Lyric threatened to call police, and Devin shot her. Isaiah claimed Devin then aimed the gun at him, saying, "You know what time it is," which he took as a threat. He said they fought, the weapon went off, and he shot Devin in fear. He admitted dragging Devin off the road, but said he never flipped him over. Prosecutors pointed out dirt on Devin's chest suggested otherwise. They also questioned why Isaiah's clothing seen on gas station video did not match his story about returning to retrieve a hoodie. The vape pen he said he held was later found in Devin's pocket. Christian Sykes testified about the alleged confession, though his memory had gaps and some details did not match physical findings. Defense attorneys highlighted those inconsistencies, suggesting confusion or exaggeration. In January 2026, only days before the courtroom battle was set to begin, Isaiah Ross was given one final option. Prosecutors placed a deal in front of him. If he admitted guilt to 2 counts of second-degree murder, he would receive a sentence of 20 to 25 years for each life lost. It meant avoiding the risk of spending the rest of his life behind bars. It meant certainty instead of a gamble. Isaiah refused. There were no long negotiations, no back-and-forth discussion. He turned it down quickly and chose to place his future in the hands of 12 strangers. He wanted a trial. He wanted them to hear his story. When proceedings began, the courtroom was heavy with emotion. Family members from both sides filled the benches. Prosecutors laid out their timeline. Defense attorneys pushed back. Witnesses took the stand one after another. Evidence was displayed. Messages were read. Photos were shown. Experts explained bullet paths and phone records. Every detail from that night was When it came to Lyric Woods, the jurors were divided. They could not reach agreement. After extended discussion and further instruction from the judge, they remained split. With no unanimous decision possible, the judge declared a mistrial on that charge. It was a moment that brought mixed reactions. For Devin's family, there was some measure of justice. They stood in court and spoke about the young man they loved. They described his energy, his loyalty, his dreams for the future. They talked about how he supported his siblings and cousins. Their words were filled with grief, but also pride. Though nothing could restore their son, brother, or friend, the guilty verdict gave them a sense that his life mattered. Isaiah was later sentenced to 20 to 25 years in prison for Devin's death. The punishment reflected the second-degree conviction. It was significant time, yet not the life sentence he had risked by rejecting the plea. For Lyric's family, the outcome felt incomplete. They walked out of the courthouse without final resolution. There had been no conviction tied to her name. No clear answer from the jury about what happened in her final moments. Only uncertainty. Prosecutors scheduled a future hearing to determine the next step. They would decide whether to retry the charge, negotiate another agreement, or dismiss it altogether. Until that decision was made, the case remained open. Observers struggled to understand the split outcome. Some jurors believed Isaiah was responsible for Devin's death, but were unsure about Lyric's. Others debated whether the shootings were planned in advance or erupted during a chaotic confrontation. The differing interpretations of the same evidence led to different conclusions. Back at home, Lyric's mother tried to cope the only way she knew how. She covered walls and shelves with pictures of her daughter smiling, dancing, and laughing. Those images showed the girl she was before that. They became daily reminders of joy, innocence, and love. 2 teenagers lost their lives on a quiet rural road. One conviction was entered into the record. One charge remains unresolved. And for many, the silence left behind still speaks the loudest. If you found this case powerful and thought-provoking, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next deep dive. Your support helps keep these stories told with care, clarity, and respect. Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you think there should be another trial?